Good evening, I'm Camelia, and this is KiniNews. 22 members of GISBH were charged with being a member of an organized crime group. This included the organization's CEO and his wife.
Global Ikhwan Services and Business Holdings CEO Nasiruddin Mohd Ali was charged this morning at the Selayang Sessions Court with being a member of an organized crime group. Nasiruddin's wife, Azura Md Yusof, and 20 other GISBH members were also charged with the same offense. Those charged are being held under the Security Offences Special Measures Act. The 22 individuals acknowledged the charges when it was read out to them. During proceedings, the group's defense lawyer, Razli Kamarudin, requested for bail but was denied by the judge, who said the matter would be up to the High Court to decide. In a press conference later, Razli said the defense would send representation to the Attorney General chambers, but did not elaborate. Razli also hoped that they would only be charged for the affiliation to organized crime and nothing more, as he noted that the company was reportedly being probed under 10 different acts. The Selayang court complex was under heavy police security this morning while the group was there, with the courtroom cleared except for the accused, court officials, and media personnel. The group had arrived at the court in 2 police trucks and were escorted by several police vehicles.
Meanwhile, Inspector General of Police Razarudin Husain said 22 individuals out of 60 that had been previously detained had been charged today. He said investigations into the remaining detainees are not yet complete.
Inspector General of Police Razarudin Husain said more than 30 other individuals associated with GISB holdings and detained under the Security Offences Special Measures Act 2012 are still being investigated. He said that 22 individuals out of the 60 previously detained were charged in the Selayang Sessions Court today. According to Bernama, Razarudin said police arrested approximately 60 people under Sosma. He said after that, police worked with the Attorney General's chambers and with the evidence they had were able to charge 22 individuals. He added that the remaining detainees under Sosma, whose investigations are not yet complete, will continue to be investigated. Asked if all the remaining detainees would be charged in court, Razarudin did not rule out the possibility. He said police were also still tracking down any remaining members or individuals associated with GISBH. Meanwhile, he said police would investigate allegations that parties were monitoring shelters housing children rescued during Op Global, which involved GISBH. Razarudin said they would obtain detailed information about it since several such shelters exist nationwide. On October 16th, Minister of Women, Family, and Community Development Nancy Shukri had revealed the matter. However, her ministry could not confirm whether the act was committed by the child's parents or unrelated parties.
If you like access to news like this and more, subscribe now to Malaysia Kini and support independent media. You can also donate to Kinitv by scanning the QR code on the screen. Still on the topic of GISBH, Nancy Shukri has announced that 55 children who had been rescued have been returned to their qualified guardian.
A total of 55 children rescued under Op Global, involving Global Ikhwan Services and Business Holdings, were returned to their qualified guardians as of today. This is according to Women, Family, and Community Development Minister Nancy Shukri. She said the children were returned following a court order. Nancy added that they must adhere to the court's directive as they obtained custody of the children following court procedures, which allowed the children to be placed under the Social Welfare Department. Subsequently, she said to release the children, they also need to seek court approval. Nancy added that JKM's role is not to separate children from their parents. Rather, their responsibility is to protect and care for the children. Currently, 560 children are housed in shelters after JKM secured a temporary custody order from the court for 2 months under Section 25(2)(a) of the Child Act 2001.
Rafizi Ramli has explained the budget process and responded to claims that the government did not think its plans through to withdraw subsidies from the T15 earners. He said this in response to the remarks by Said Sadek on the topic.
Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli has responded to Muar MP Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman over his remarks on the Raw 95 subsidy. In a video posted on X, Rafizi said Syed Sadiq should be aware of the budget process as he was once the youngest minister. He explained that the budget proposal is a statement of the government's intentions and plans for the coming year, so the figures presented are merely projections and estimates.
Kerajaan menyatakan rancangan pendapatan dan perbelanjaan yang melibatkan dasar-dasar dan projek-projek pada anggaran awal untuk mendapat kelulusan Dewan Rakyat. Selepas diluluskan, kerajaan kemudian menggunakan kelulusan itu untuk memperincikan projek-projek untuk dilaksanakan, termasuklah membuka tender, melantik kontraktor dan sebagainya. Kalau ikut Syed Sadiq yang semuanya perlu diperincikan dan telah dimuktamadkan baru boleh umum di dalam belanjawan, maka bertahun-tahunlah baru kita boleh siapkan satu belanjawan dan berjilid-jilid buku belanjawanlah yang perlu dicetak untuk setiap seorang ahli parlimen.
Rafizi also rebutted claims that the government has not thought through its plans to withdraw subsidies from the T15 earners. He said various proposals and methods for defining the T15 group have been discussed at various levels of the government, and the method that has been finalized will be presented to the cabinet for approval. Previously, Syed Sadiq had questioned why the announcement was made before the details such as the classification of the T15 group were ready. This was after Rafizi was reported as saying that the definition of the T15 group to be excluded from the subsidy was still being defined.
A group has launched an online petition demanding justice for deaf e-hailing driver Ong In Kyong. Among others, the group called for the immediate prosecution against the officer implicated in the case.
The Deaf Advocacy and Wellbeing National Organization, or DAWN, has launched an online petition demanding justice for e-hailing driver Ong In Kyong. Ong was allegedly assaulted by a police officer on May 28th while escorting a member of Johor royalty. The group demanded immediate prosecution against the officer implicated and an independent inquiry into the alleged mishandling of the case. It urged the Attorney General and the Prime Minister to give a clear explanation for the lack of action over the case. It also called for the legal rights of people with disabilities to be safeguarded, especially in facing systemic barriers to accessing justice. In the petition, Dawn said Ong's case is not only a fight for individual justice, but also a critical moment in addressing systemic challenges faced by deaf persons, the disabled community, and other vulnerable communities in accessing justice in Malaysia. It urged individuals and organizations worldwide to endorse this petition and bring attention to this crucial case. The petition was published on the website change.org at about 5 p.m. yesterday.
Akmal Saleh gave a reminder to the government of criticism against BN in the past on the topic of waiving PTPTN loan repayments. This was after the government admitted that it was hard to do.
UMNO Youth Chief Dr. Muhammad Akmal Saleh reminded the government that BN had said it was difficult to write off the National Higher Education Fund defaulters' loan from the time they were heading the government. Akmal said this after the government admitted it is hard to waive PTPTN loan repayments. In a post on Facebook, he said no one wanted to believe them, so the government and former Premier Najib Abdul Razak got criticized and insulted. Given the tough situation, Akmal said the government could consider continuing programs mooted by the previous BN administration in dealing with PTPTN loans. He said perhaps they could still waive payments for those who got excellent results. He said they can also reduce the payment quantum for those who come from underprivileged families. Yesterday, Deputy Higher Education Minister Mustafa Sakmood said it is difficult for the government to waive PTPTN loan repayments amid the country's financial situation.
That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Kimelia. Thanks for watching.